Mr. Ischinger, this is the second time that OSCE observers have been detained in eastern Ukraine. Do you think the OSCE is being deliberately targeted by the separatists?
Well, the question is, who are the separatists? Is this a group that has a unified command? So somebody in charge? Not so clear. I think there are different groups running about. I'm not so sure there is a unified command. So we may be dealing with just one group, maybe a stray group of separatists or rebels, whatever you want to call it. In any case, whatever the organizational quality is, it is a shame, it is a violation of all the rules of international law and behavior, and it should be persecuted.
So if this goes on, does that mean that the OSCE will have to pull out of Ukraine?
Well, I hope not. Certainly not out of all of Ukraine, but it is obviously a question that's been discussed now for quite a few days. Under what conditions does responsible leadership of these OSCE teams have to decide we cannot fulfill our mission under these conditions in Donetsk or Lugansk or elsewhere in eastern Ukraine? Then obviously, because you are responsible for the lives of your team members, you're going to have to pull back, which is too bad.
So more generally, we're seeing violence in eastern Ukraine, dozens of dead. How would you describe the situation there? Is this a civil war?
Well, it is an escalation again. Let's go back a few days. A week ago, we, the West, EU, the United States, Germany, we urged the government of Ukraine to de-escalate as the election date was approaching. We said, don't shoot, don't allow your actions to provoke escalation from the other side. Allow people to vote.
But the new president of Ukraine, Poroshenko, says that his operations in eastern Ukraine will continue, even if there's dialogue with Moscow as well. Is that the right way forward to peace?
Obviously, the day after the election, the government needed to, re-establish its former level of activities. So what we now see or interpret as an escalation by the government side is simply a resumption of activities which, for purposes of the elections, had been slowed down.
So lastly, on the talks, the roundtable talks you've been leading in Ukraine, how successful have they been, and is it time to bring the separatists to the table as well?
If you find me a separatist who is willing to come to such a roundtable, be my guest. And I'd welcome any of these separatists. But of course, that's the first thing they've always said. They will never sit down with anyone from Kiev. They are a self-declared republic. So the roundtable is not the ideal place to conduct discussions with them. If you want to conduct discussions with them, it's got to be behind closed doors, maybe through intermediaries.
Wolfgang Ischinger, thank you very much indeed.